Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me.
Okay. So, in your own words, like, what do you feel like is the benefit of someone, older than 18, 20, in their early 20s, late 30s even? What do you think is the benefit of taking, like, one of these classes?
Nowadays, everyone feels that they need to become a scholar, but what it does is it raises the bare level minimum knowledge of Muslims. So we're moving the bar up slowly and slowly for our children and future generations, but we're not in that concept where, if we're not a scholar, we don't have to learn at all.
I felt like my Islamic knowledge had been stagnant, right, for a while, and it finally felt like I was doing something to gain more. Once you get to a certain age, you have to choose whether or not you're going to continue your journey as a Muslim. You have to find Islam for yourself at a certain point.
What do you think is the benefit of, like, studying like this versus, like, coming to a random off halaqah or some intensive, which are great, by the way?
I think it was Imam Suhaib Webb that one time I was listening to him, and he said, the moment you sit with an ustad, you can never go back, right? So in Qiblah, every single week we had classes with, shaykh, and we got to build a connection with them, right? And when you come to a class that only happens once or twice, you can't build a relationship like you can when you're meeting consistently.
There's a difference between going to class, sitting in the chair with your back straight, rather than when you're home in your, shorts or whatever, and you have the TV on running in the back, and Sheikh Muhammad is not sitting in front of you and asking you a question or asking you to repeat what he just said because he thinks you're not paying attention. So there is that aspect. Also, when you go and you see, 10 brothers and, this group of sisters learning, and people are still out here to pursue knowledge, and, but when I went to the class, I saw that there were many people older than me, many people younger than me, people my age, and it just created the idea that, like, everyone needs to pursue knowledge, and coming in person is very helpful because, again, like, you're kind of held a little more accountable when you're sitting there in person. You're not gonna act a fool. You're not gonna get too comfortable. You're gonna focus, and you're gonna try to leave that class because you're putting your time, and you're gonna try to leave that class with value and something you can take away.
You took Sierra class, and, like, you've taken history classes before. In your own words, if you were to, like, tell someone, what's the difference between taking, like, a standard college history class versus, like, learning about the Prophet of Allah?
Learning about the Sirah, it connects you to the Prophet ﷺ, and it builds love for the person that you're learning about. In art history, I never felt love for any of the kings and queens and artists. I just wanted to take the exam and leave.
What have you learned in 26 years? Have you learned the tafsir of one surah? Have you learned the tafsir of 10 surahs, right? So what harm is there in taking your class? It's not like you were taking roll call. So if I didn't want to show up, I didn't want to show up. I didn't have to show up. But, it was a good way to tell myself, like, just go and learn a little bit. Because I feel like I've not done enough in my life up to that point. So there was no harm in taking it.
Jazakallah for coming. Appreciate your time, man.